good weekend. What did I do? There was an audio hi-fi event in KL, so I was there.
Okay.
Right. So it was good. So I spent some time and yeah, it was good. It was good weekend for me. Good rest weekend. How about you, sir?
Every weekend, my weekend in Manila is always the same.
What do you do? What do you do on the weekend?
There's no typhoon, but I also stay at home.
Right, right. As we wait for others to come, I think there will be some time before everyone else coming, because I think there's a mistake in terms of the link. Right. So for those who just joined us on Facebook, please give us a few minutes. We are going through some technical challenges on our site and trying to get everyone to join our Zoom. Now, those who are maybe one of the things that we could do on the team who are operating this right now, you could consider sending the link of the Facebook to everyone else that register for the event, so that they could get access via Facebook as well, while waiting for the link from Zoom, because I think there was a challenge in the link from Zoom. There was a mistake in the link. So for those who are watching on Facebook, let's see how many people are on Facebook right now. I don't know. Can I see? I think we have quite a bit of people on Facebook right now. Yeah, so our goal today is to really spend some time to talk about this key thing called accountability. And while we're waiting for everyone else to kind of jump in the call, maybe those who are here, I'm not looking at my Facebook. Hang on, let me just see if I can get to my Facebook, so that I know I'm not missing out everyone that is watching live. For some reason, I can't get in. Okay. Yes, this is live right now. We are going live. Yes, it's 2 people watching here right now. So for those who are watching on Facebook, do send in the chat box, what do you think about accountability? What's accountability to you? And those who are Zoom right now, who managed to join us in Zoom, maybe you can share with us, what is your idea or understanding about accountability? Right. So maybe Philippines, or maybe Charles, while you're in Philippines and we are talking here right now, what do you think accountability is all about?
I think a lot of time, right? People mistaken accountability with responsibility, right? I think that's quite common. So when you speak to them about accountability, they thought it's the same as responsibility. They say, "Yeah, I've done this," right? So actually, responsibility is okay. The things that you need to do, that's your responsibility, right? And accountability is taking the ownership for the outcome, right? So you make a decision, right? You have done that. You also own up the result. That's called accountability. So that's how I think maybe also it's quite common people think that accountability equivalent to responsibility. That's why when you speak to them, they will tell you, "Yeah, I've done this," but they never say that. Yeah, you done it right doesn't mean that the result, right? You can own up to the result, the outcome.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, because accountability, it's not about responsibility. That's a great way of saying it. It's part of responsibility. It is part of responsibility, but it is not the entire thing, right? And accountability is basically agreeing that you are responsible for the results. And when you don't achieve the results, despite what you have done and did not do, you own up that you didn't achieve the results. You own up that it is me not achieving the results. So it's a very interesting way, because all of us have misunderstand or maybe different thinking about accountability. So I thought, as we are waiting for people to come, because I've got a short video to share that talks about accountability. But I think sometimes we need to really reset our mindset, right? Because one of the reasons why a lot of people don't achieve what they want to achieve is because they fail to be accountable to the outcome that they want. Right? Like for example, if I want to say I'm going to lose weight and my trainer say I got to go on the treadmill for 25 kilometers, which is a lot, actually it's a lot, but assuming that's the case. And I tell them, I did it on my own, I can only do 10 and I stop at 10. I said, that's the best I can do, right? But I was unwilling to be accountable to my coach, if there was a coach there, saying that I want to go 25. So we cannot be, so think about accountability, you cannot be accountable to yourself because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Accountability to yourself doesn't work because we will find excuses to avoid pain, avoid failure. We will find excuses to avoid to do the things that we don't like to do.
We are just human. I just need to say that we are just human. Sometimes it's quite natural. Our self-defense mechanism say that, okay, maybe we wanted to take some shortcuts or things, right? Or opportunity if they are possible. There is any opportunity. That's why, yeah, I agree with you. Ourselves is very hard to keep ourselves accountable, right?
So as we're going to start the meeting, I want to start this call by just playing this short video that help us understand a little bit about accountability, right? And this is a video that is it's a part of a speech. It's a part of a very, very famous speech done by this person called Simon Sinek. But this is just a small snippet of the speech where he talks about accountability. And I want us all to just watch the speech as I share it on my screen. Okay. Here it goes.
Rule number 2. I like this one. In the 18th century, there was something that spread across Europe and eventually made its way to America called puerperal fever, also known as the Black Death of Childbed. Basically what was happening is women were giving birth and they would die within 48 hours after giving birth. This Black Death of childbirth was the ravage of Europe, and it got worse and worse and worse over the course of over a century. In some hospitals, it was as high as 70% of women who gave birth who would die as a result of giving birth. But this was the Renaissance. This was the time of empirical data and science, and we had thrown away things like tradition and mysticism. These were men of science, these were doctors. And these doctors and men of science wanted to study and try and find the reason for this Black Death of childbed, and so they got to work studying, and they would study the corpses of the women who had died. And in the morning they would conduct autopsies, and then in the afternoon they would go and deliver babies and finish their rounds. And it wasn't until somewhere in the mid-1800s that Dr. Oliver Wendell Holmes, father of Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, realized that all of these doctors who were conducting autopsies in the morning weren't washing their hands before they delivered babies in the afternoon. And he pointed it out and said, "Guys, you're the problem." And they ignored him and called him crazy for 30 years. Until finally somebody realized that if they simply washed their hands, it would go away. And that's exactly what happened. When they started sterilizing their instruments and washing their hands, the Black Death of childbed disappeared. My point is, the lesson here is, sometimes you're the problem. We've seen this happen all too recently with our new men of science and empirical studiers and these men of finance who are smarter than the rest of us until the thing collapsed. And they blamed everything else except themselves. And my point is take accountability for your actions. You can take all the credit in the world for the things that you do right, as long as you also take responsibility for the things you do wrong. It must be a balanced equation. You don't get it one way and not the other. You get to take credit when you also take accountability. That's less.
Yeah, so I wanted to share that, right? And I felt that was a good message for this morning. That would help us really understand that mindset there, right? So I think one of the ways Simon Sinek says so well is that if you want to take credit for the success, you've got to take credit, you've got to own up for the failures.
Yes.
Right. I think that's important, right? That's a key thing about accountability. And I hope this morning, as that video kind of set that tone for us to have this conversation, I want to share a few things that I think matters why accountability is so critical for people who want to be successful. And what I'm sharing today is really a research that done by our company, Keller Williams Worldwide, Keller Williams International, Realty International, where they did research on educating, while they were educating real estate agents, they were investigating and observing why top producing people behave differently and have different results. So let's talk a little bit about that as I try to play my slides. Hang on, give me a minute. Okay, there you go. Right. And the goal is this, right? What is the difference for those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't accomplish much? And this is really something that we teach in the class called the 6 personal perspective, but I'm going to take a portion of it just about accountability and expound on it a little bit, and then have a conversation and give you some steps on how we and all of us could think about accountability in a different way. And really it's about the mindset, the attitude, and the approach to life. So how you think and what's your behavior towards what you think determine basically how you approach your life. And you put all that together, the center point where everything meet, right? Your approach to life, your attitude, your small behaviors, right? Attitudes are the small things, right? And you merge all of them together with the mindset. That's really how some of the highest productive people, highly successful people, actually think and behave from, right? And if you just reevaluate yourself, what's your mindset today? Is your mindset a person that likes to just blame everyone else? Are you a mindset of a victim or a victor, right? Are you a mindset of a winner or a loser? Because you still can lose and still be a winner. And I'll talk a bit about that later, right? So really, this is a lot about the approach, the way we think about how some of these successful people behave, right? I'm missing my mouse. There you go. Right. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. Okay, there you go. And how we think about this whole mindset came from this 6 personal perspective, right? We have 6 ways of people thinking that then determine their actions and their approach to life. And today we're going to talk about step 6, accountability, which to me, I think is one of the most challenging thing to talk about. Now, here it is. Here is an example of the one in blue is the one that a victim mindset. The one in red is the one that is actually what do you call that? A person that wants to be accountable. I'm sorry. Give me a minute. There you go. Right. And you think about it, right? Let's explore both together at the same time. So the person that is accountable is always seeking reality. Is always asking the question, what's going on? What's the situation? The guy who is ignorant or the person that is victim always avoid asking questions. And sometimes the question is not to anyone else but to themselves. To really first ask ourselves, are we aware of the situation or not? So an example here is if you're running a business today as a real estate agent, but your life, you're struggling to pay bills. And you ask yourself this question, what's going on? Am I doing the work that will help me achieve my goal? Or am I really cut off to do this? And that's the question you have to ask to seek reality, right? The guy who doesn't seek reality is, oh, it's okay, everything is good, everything is great, everything is going on fine, right? That's the that will lead us to the next one is the denial, right? Number two is in denial. That's not how I see it. That's not the way it is. The guy who is really having self-awareness, on the other side, who's accountable, acknowledge realities. Okay, this is what's happening. This is the reality. I got it. I see what's going on. The market is challenging. I got it. It's not going to recover overnight. Yeah. I've been telling people today that the US tariff impact in the global economy has not been felt yet. You have not felt the impact of the US tariff probably until the first quarter of next year.
You come in hard, very, very hard.
Yeah, it will come in so hard that you don't understand what's going on. And the clarity is this, like that you should know that it's going to happen. Like you will see things change so dramatically in the stock market, in the currencies, whatever market there is, it will hit hard because the impact has not been felt yet. And when it happens, you got to appreciate and understand that that is happening right now, right? So that's really important. That's really something that's important. For some reason, my mouse cursor is gone, right? Oh. Okay, so that's important, right? So the other one is they blame, right? They blame is everybody's fault. Or is that person's fault? Is that person not doing it enough? I did everything, but that person never do anything, that's why we fail.
You cannot
the other
blame
one is I own it. Sorry, Charles, go ahead.
Sorry to say that. I think when the tariff impact going to hit next year, right? You cannot blame the tariff, right?
Yeah.
I think that's very important. Whatever, if even what we see, whatever policy, whatever corruptions that are happening in country or outside the country, you cannot blame all that and say that's why there's no transaction.
Right.
Because you are not doing the thing that you're supposed to do, right? And not to get accountability as well. I think there's a lot of people always feedback to me that, oh, okay, there's this. I think currently you know what's happening in over here, right? So there's a lot of Senate hearings. So politicians are being called to the Senate and being questioned. But what is that to do with what you are going to do a sale that you are not serving them anyway, right? Why there's no transaction? Because you have been sitting down, not inviting enough people to come in, and not willing to own it up as well, right?
Right.
So there's
absolutely yes. I was just talking to a group of agents I was coaching in Malaysia just last week, and I asked them a question: can you make 8 phone calls a day? Because that's your GPS goal as a team. If everyone make phone calls, there'll be 40 phone calls. 5 of us, there'll be 40 phone calls. You have touched 40 people, and a 10% conversion will have 4 potential prospects. And out of the 4, 1 will potentially be interested. So that's a number game, right? Are you doing that part? Are you going? And the job, and the reality is, yes, it's harder to find those people, but you still have to do the job, right? You still have to do the work, because you have bills to pay, right? You have expenses to pay. Because if you don't do the work and you don't own up and say that if I don't do the work, I won't get the outcome, versus it's not my fault, it's the government's fault, therefore I won't get the outcome. That's the difference here and what Charles is trying to say, right? And don't think that in the Philippines the tariff would not impact, because there are very little tariff in the Philippines, but it's a global thing. And when there's a global situation, you will stop people from spending money. It impacts the entire chain of economy. And no one is spared from this.
Yeah, there's a chain to all these things, right?
Right.
Because the supplies is not from a single country or a single industry. It's all correlate each other.
Right. And the idea is this: because the 2 largest consumer in the world, US and China, is going through a slowdown. And the tariff impacts US so much because it will create such a high inflationary pressure on the consumers in the US, which is the #1 consumer in the world, by the way, They stop spending money, they stop buying, they stop traveling, they stop they stop spending money. All of us are impacted.
Right, not consuming. I think that's going to hit.
Because inflation is happening, right? I got to spend money for food first. And the food prices are going up everywhere, right? So that's where we need to understand the reality and see what we can do about it, right? And when we own it up, right, we put our energy and focus and say, okay, this is now my reality. I understand what's going on. There are certain things I need to do. For example, I need to cut my expense, right? Number two, I need to focus on what matters so that we can do what we need to do. And this is my responsibility. So a person is highly accountable. Take that initiative. They understand the economy is not good. I'm not asking all of us to deny that. They understand that situation is not in the most favorable position for all of us. But the reality is, once I understand that, and I also understand that I need to be responsible for my bills and my outcomes and the people that I'm responsible to, I need to do what I need to do. Then we figure out what to do, right? And then we start talking about possibilities. What are the solutions? What are my options? How can I get there? What can I do? Versus someone saying, nobody tell me what to do. It's not my job. I'm so disappointed in them. They never tell me what to do. And we're all waiting for people to tell me what to do. And that's the challenge here, because a lot of people, it's so waiting for people to tell them what to do. That's the deflection. That's really one of the key downfalls of why people are not successful, because they're waiting for people to tell them what to do. The other one is, I'm trying to figure out what to do. I know I can do this, but what can I focus on to make things happen? Right? What are some of the solutions and possibilities that I can explore and make something happen? The fifth one is they resign. They say, okay, if it's like that, means it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Let's just wait and see. I can't control it. The whole world is gloomy and all bad and all that, right? So that's the resignation one. The other one is, let's start going. Let's keep going. Let's sit down and start planning out what we need to execute and do. So I think this is an example of accountability as a person that wants to be accountable. Now, the key thing is this: you can't be accountable to yourself. You cannot. And the reason why you cannot is because that's not how we are built. We always have excuses to tell ourselves that it's not the right place. I will stop doing it because we don't like to do the things that we don't like to do. So accountability requires us to be accountable to someone or a group of people, right? So that's why it's important for us to really think through who should be our accountability partner, right? Okay, hang on. Something just happened to my laptop. Right, we're all having technical issues here today. There is a huge technical issue. Hang on, let me just try again. Let me share my screen one more time. I hope I'm resonating with some of you here today about what's going on. Hang on.
I think this got to be constantly reminded, right?
Right.
That's why we've been running the Ignite, and actually, if at certain season or right now you heard that, oh, okay, this is something that I learned maybe 6 months ago, and you already like drifted away from this, maybe it's time, right, for the next Ignite. Just come in and relearn the whole thing again,
right,
and pick it up.
So this is how it is, right? Being accountable, being victim, and this is like a snapshot. This is like kind of like a short conform version of what I say. Being accountable seeks reality, acknowledges the reality, owns it, finds the solution, and gets on with it. Right? The being a victim is, I don't seek reality, I fight reality, I blame everyone else except myself, which is very common. All of us fall into that trap. Make personal excuses, wait and hope for something to happen. They don't think strategically. They don't think of what is the way we can do to make things work, right? So this is where the accountability difference is: someone that wants to be accountable and someone that wants to be a victim. And all of us falls into this trap of being the victim, because we feel that a lot of things that we cannot control.
Yeah, John, the other common things that I see in human, right, is they wait, right? They don't even seek for solution or anything, right? So that they sitting there, they avoid conversation, avoid confrontation,
Right.
and until something or big, like when they being called to the meeting, then only they have all their excuses, right?
Right.
And not willing to accept the reality that going to hit them, right?
Exactly. And that's the danger of waiting and hoping, because you can still hope and do something, right? You don't have to wait for hope to make to work. You do it with the hope of success. You cannot wait and hope for success. Like it doesn't work that way, right? So being accountable teaches us that we need to take that action and be responsible for the action. Inaction itself is a form of action.
Yeah.
Right? Inaction itself is a form of action. And when there's too much inaction, nothing is going to happen for sure. Inaction is a recipe for failure. You can never achieve anything by not doing anything. Right? In fact, you get worse. Right? It's a self-destruction mode. Right?
And many still think that that's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but and then you always see yourself struggling, right? Because you don't walk out from these, right?
Right.
And you're not really changing yourself to have a different outcome. That's why
Right.
you can see that many people are still struggling in their production or are seeing the result they're supposed to. So I think I also tell people, right? I mean, praying is one thing, right? But taking action is also equivalent important.
Yeah.
You cannot be like I say, okay, sorry to say that, yeah. You are good in a good person religiously, but you are not taking certain actions that need to give you the reason, right? In your production. It won't just happen overnight.
Right. And I think sometimes we hide behind all these things because we are just afraid of taking action. And the only way for us to take action is when we are accountable, right? Because I give an example today. If I so my wife is now into all the evening walks, morning walks on the hill, right? She's always doing this exercising stuff and all that.
So yeah,
okay, let's do it together, right? So let's do it together. But if I go do myself, right, I will give myself a lot of excuses. I will give myself so many excuses that I feel that it's so justifiable. Like, oh, I need to rest my muscle so that tomorrow I have a better muscle. Right? I need to rest a little bit more because tomorrow I have a bigger day. So, but if my wife comes home at 4:30 and say, hey, we need to go for a walk now, I will go. Because why? We have an accountability. I don't want to fail. I don't want to let her down.
Yeah.
Right. So the accountability matters, right? The accountability is a way that is designed for us to achieve success. The way we do accountability, it's part of the human structure or the way we think about things. It's part of how we behave. Like we are better when we are together in a group, holding each other accountable versus by ourselves.
You have a partner, right?
Yeah, you have a sparring partner. If you want to play a game, or you want to, it's important to do it together with someone and watch that person, how he does it, right? So that we all can learn from each other and hold each other.
Can I add in on this as well to choose someone even better than you, right? Just myself, I play games, and at certain point, I mean, it's always good to play with same group of friends, right?
Right.
And then you can anticipate the outcome. You are more predictable. You know who is in which area and stuff. But I myself also choose to play with someone who really went to competitions, right? They compete on national level, that to push myself to be even a better player. So that I think take the fear away, and think, because once you spar with someone who are you do that you're competing with someone who are better, your accountability partner who are so big or so much better, it puts you even to a new level.
Right.
Maybe that's something that I wanted to share to the audience as well, right? choose someone who are strong. It's not choose someone who are so, they can't even keep themselves accountable or getting themselves to work. Why you choose that one person? Then that person will drag you down. Then the person will say, it's okay, John. Today let's go drink. Rather than walk, we go for drinks.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also true because you got to find the right partner as well, right? The right person that can help you, spar with you, that wants to. In fact, if you can find someone way better than you, who is succeeding better than you, and you get the person to spar with you, I promise you will change your life. I promise you will change your life. And I think the reason why, let's inspect a little bit, the reason why people avoid accountability is because it's scary. It's pressure, right? It's a lot of pressure. And
I think so much as well, we are being taught of being wired the way that we must always win, right? So when we fail to do something, it feel like, okay, we are at the losing end. We expose ourselves so much.
right.
We are not able to be vulnerable with the reality or things, right? So these are the human traits that maybe we just want to put aside, right? If we wanted to have a different outcome, just put this as an opportunity and remove this belief is very important, right? Winning or losing is not important, right? I think, yeah, having different outcome or taking charge of it is better.
I think one of the things I learned across my journey in 21 years in the industry is that, I mean, only of late recently, the past few years, especially the past 2 to 3 years, where some drastic things happened to me personally, I begin to realize that those failures that I went through and those disappointment that I went through was actually a gift.
Yeah.
And I want to just ask you to think about all your failures, all your challenges, all the pain that you go through is actually a gift for you. And I don't mean it in a very negative way. I mean it in a positive way.
It's
the gift of challenges and pain helps us to shape the way we are and helps us to ask ourselves to become better version of ourselves. I actually sat down the day I was driving my son. I spent a lot of time on Saturday. It was a good Saturday with my son. He just passed his 15th birthday, and I was on the way to send him to buy his birthday present because he likes to play table tennis, ping pong. So we went to this sports store to custom make his ping pong bat, right? And on the way in that journey, he asked me a very good question. I had to think a long time to answer him. Now he's 15 years old. He asked me this question. He asked me this, that you are just, because I just had my birthday last week as well. So I turned 44 this year. And he asked me this question: which decade in your life that you felt it was the most enjoyable, pleasurable, and the best 10 years of your life? And I sat down and began to think about it, right? I couldn't give him an answer. Because if I think through, right, I don't think I ever have 10 years or 1 decade of life where everything is so beautiful and so nice and I really truly enjoy. I can tell you that I start thinking, actually, right, if I look at the equation, actually, I think I have more challenges, pain, struggles, failures every decade than success. And I start thinking about it, right? I remember that night I have a conversation with my wife. Say, your son asked me this question, and I find it very hard to answer here. And I was thinking very, very hard. And I wonder, like, when was the last time I could think of all these things? And he asked me a very good question. And I begin to realize that the challenges and the pain and the suffering and I would say the failures that you go through are actually a gift. And I begin to realize that if I didn't go through it, I won't have some of this success or these wins that I will ever have.
Yeah. You cannot live life like in the same, right? So certain. Right? There must be up and down, so you appreciate. You appreciate more. We grow as well. We learn. That's a life.
Yeah. And if I want to spiritualize a little bit, I say, I think God allowed us to go through this because He's in power, He's in control, and it's His gift to us to go through challenges and pain and failures to shape the way we're supposed to be a better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I plan to next weekend when I go and see my son in another conversation, I wanna tell him this.
Yeah, John.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to add in, right? If you have 10 years of everything just every day just happy, I think you don't belong in this room, right?
That's
you
right.
might be in a hospital already, mental hospital.
Right. That's true. That's true. So we need to go through those challenges, right? We cannot avoid that. And I then back you begin to reflect like the wins that I had. One of the ways that I had the best wins is when I was in peer-to-peer coaching with other people, where we are peer-to-peer coaching in my group. I have a group of people that I meet every month last time, all business owners of the similar level, but on different industry, and we hold each other accountable to what we're supposed to do and what we don't do. They will challenge me and ask me why you say you want to do this and you didn't do it, right? So I believe those accountability, and I think accountability is in a facets of many things, right? It's not only about work. Your life, your spiritual walk, your marriage, your personal journey, your business, they are all requires accountability partner. You require people to spar with you. And I think that's where I realize that all of us live in a challenging world. And it's not easy to enjoy everything that we have here because not every day is going to be enjoyable. So my son gave me a very big aha on Saturday as I was reflecting the question that he has. And I asked the same to everyone, right? If you think about some of you are older than me, younger than me. If you think of yourself, like what is 1 decade or 10 years of lifespan that you have, that you can say that you truly enjoy every single day? I don't think so.
Maybe 10 years of your life. That's all. I think maybe the first 10 years of your life, right? So
but to some people, first 10 yeys may not be.
Yeah,
they may be in a different situation, and a lot of us where they are not having the best.
I agree that as well, right?
Yeah. So I know we've been talking a lot, but because we have a technical issue this morning, everyone came late. But as you are hearing this conversation, what's your aha? Please put in your chat box. What are some of your ahas? I hope you're not boring you. I hope you're not disrupted because of this. But I wanted to talk about accountability in a more deeper manner today because I felt as we go into the new year of 2026, we are at the last quarter of 2025.
Yeah.
Right. And we start to, and some of us, or a lot of us, including myself, may not have achieved the goal that we want to achieve.
How far are you from your goal, right?
Yeah. And if you don't think forward and look at 2026 from now, then we are too late. Right. And we don't want to live another life of 2026 where we are going to regret or start blaming everyone else. Right. So I wanted to set this conversation here today because I wanted us to think about accountability. Right. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how do you find an accountability partner? Right. And I want us to ask yourself, who are those people that you want to that you want to hold yourself accountable to? Right. Who is it? So I'll start asking questions. And I want to share this particular chart that I have that it's by our former vice chairman of the board and former CEO of Keller Williams Realty, which is Mo Anderson. This is, you can see my chart here. This is Mo Anderson, which is formerly CEO of Keller Williams many years ago and vice chairman of the board, former vice chairman of the board. She has 4 key areas that she wants people to hold accountable to, right? Financially, spiritually, physically, and business. These are the 4 key areas. I mean, there are many areas in your life, but I want to just highlight these 4 key areas, right? So I want you all to think about these 4 key areas and begin to ask yourself, who are the people that I need to be in relationship with to hold me accountable or journey with me on this? And I always ask and challenge all of us to find someone smarter, better than us. Because that's how you learn. Always learn from someone smarter, better than you. Right? Because it's easy, right? Because when your client tells you, oh, my cousin told me don't buy property right now because the market is bad. Great. How many properties your cousin owns? 0. Great. Go talk to someone or find another cousin that has 100 properties and learn from that person, because likely he knows more than the guy who has not bought any properties, right? So same concept in your 4 key areas of your life: financially, spiritually, physically, business. Who are the people that will hold you accountable, that you want to be held accountable to? Start thinking about them today. Start asking this question: who you want to be part of that accountability journey with you? I think that person is a very important thing. I think the first thing you do is to find this sparring partner. And who does that look like, right? Anything to add, Charles?
No. I think put them into like just like Mo Anderson did, right?
Right.
This different area. You cannot have one person holding you for everything, right?
Right.
Like her financially, she have two, right? In businesses, spiritually as well, and then yeah. So you wanted to look into all these different accountability partners to help you to achieve different area in your life. You cannot just have one person that do everything for you. Nobody is good in everything, right? If they claim they're good in everything, maybe you also, I think, need to be in realistic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
In reality, no one can be good at everything and be master of everything. That's why we all need to leverage among ourselves to ask the question: who would be the person that we want to learn from? And it could be a certain season, not forever. Maybe the next 2 years, I got the privilege to learn from this person. So this person will hold me accountable, right, for this. And I'll ask him for his permission. Can you please hold me accountable? Someone came up to me the other day in Malaysia and say, John, can I please ask you to hold me accountable for this area of my life? I say, if I can do it, I will do it. Yeah, fantastic. And I do the same thing for myself as well, right? Because if you truly want to succeed and want to do better, you need to have that kind of mindset where you want to get someone to hold you accountable. And lack of accountability, it's a very dangerous game.
I have this person who asked me to hold this person accountable. I think after 2 weeks, they said, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
Really, because then you'll be very, very tight, right? Then they feel that, okay, this not really something that I wanted.
Right.
And it's okay. It's check that, okay, you cannot keep yourself accountable for that period of time. But then I will give the timeline. I say that then when do you want to come back for this? Right? I'm all right. Actually, I don't charge anything. Just as a friend, because the person think that, okay, this is quite a good person that hold me accountable on production, right? Productivity. That's why when I hold on that, then suddenly on reality, she felt like, okay, it's a little bit too hard on herself. Actually, it's okay. Then what's the next thing is the follow-up conversation can happen, but that person just excuse entirely.
Right.
So yourself, I think sometimes you come into this situation, sometime after your self-assessment, you think that you cannot commit so much, right? And it's okay to talk to your accountability partner and to reassess the situation and to make something more achievable and something that you can take on, right?
Right. And also be reality, because if you do something that cannot solve the problem and you're trying to do something lesser that won't solve the problem, that is also not reality. Because for example, if my bills is 500,000 pesos a month, and I want to set a goal plan to hold me accountable to achieve 5,000 pesos a month, you are set up for failure.
Yes.
Right. So you got to be very clear and be clear that, like, whatever challenges you're facing financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, is not easy. It's not going to be easy. And you cannot find a way to make it easy. You can be smarter enough to find a way that makes it work best for you, but you cannot find a way that you don't have to do anything and it happens by itself. Right? So that's the reality that we need to understand, which I think sometimes in our business is really getting on the phone and talk to people. It's as simple as that.
Sometimes you must also know how many zeros in a billion, right? So when I did that Ignite lesson, someone told me, I think, don't know, 5 billion or a billion. I said, that, do you know how many zero is in the billion? Then reality, right? Whether how much actually is your expenses? Why do you need to make so much money, right? But if your expenses just maybe 500,000 or million a year, why do you need such a big thing? Maybe you just set something like 2 million. I don't know, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So why goes immediately so high when you are just a new player in the industry? You are new kids on the block.
Right.
Then be realistic about this, right? If you in your life you haven't achieved 1 million pesos, right? For example, in production, then why do you want to set 1 billion? I think just do on 1 million or 2 million. There's something that more really realistic.
Yeah. I think realization of being realistic is important, because reality is sometimes, that's where accountability helps us, because it asks us questions like, is that real? Is that possible? Are you realistic? Do you think it's gonna happen? Like, show me how is that gonna happen? Show me what needs to be done so that it happens, right? So I think that's why accountability helps, because it challenges us on the facets of our life on that particular segment, maybe it's spiritual or maybe it's business. It challenges us to think about the reality of what we are trying to do. Would it be achievable? Right. And when we have the clear mindset of reality, that's where we are. And I think reality itself requires a lot of work, because some of us, including myself, sometimes we are just in denial of the reality that we are in. And to Charles' point is that, right, it's fantastic to have a great goal, but that could be a 5 years goal, not a 1 year goal. That could be a 10 years goal, not a 1 year goal. And what's that 10 years goal? And then what's that 1 year goal? And then work it from there. Doesn't mean you don't want to achieve it. It's just that you are breaking it down into different steps so that you set yourself that expectation to slowly move forward, because success is sequential. It's not it's not doing a lot of things. It's really by sequence, right? So what's the small step sequence that will help us achieve the big step? So that's important, right? And that's where accountability helps us, because all of us like credit, all of us like to look good, all of us like to tell the whole world how great we are. And at the same time, we don't have to tell the whole world the mistakes that we made. Yeah. Right. And I think if you want to truly be successful and truly be true to yourself, just like what Simon Sinek said this morning, right? You got to, if you want the credit, you have to own up for the mistakes as well. It is a balance. It's hand in hand. You cannot only take the credit and say that it's not your fault if the mistake happens or you don't achieve your goal. So and then you're gonna ask yourself, why are you failing? Right? And then you have to admit it's because of me I'm failing, not because of anyone else. Because everything starts from me first, right? Everything starts from me first. And I think that's the idea of accountability, right? I wonder, anyone have any questions, any thoughts? How many of you got questions? Are you learning something today? If you're learning something, please press 3. I hope I'm not boring anyone. If you're learning something, please press 3 on the chat box. How many of you have any questions or aha that you want to kind of share in the chat box? Anything, any thoughts from you, Charles?
We can read some right earlier as well. I think some have posted. I think Renee posted, winner fix the problem, negative people just make excuses. That's right? So you got it. And what Timmy said, I think Timmy said, life is actually full of up and downs, right? We cannot like always just so smooth.
Right.
Even the billionaire you born from a billionaire family is still the same. There will be up and down. If there's no up and down, then you are at the wrong world. Maybe you're on drugs as well. So
right. I want to just add one thing about that just now, about full of ups and downs and non-challenges. One thing that helped me change my perspective, and this happened maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, is when I begin to be grateful for the challenges that I go through.
Yeah.
And if you think about it that way, I'm so grateful that I failed. I'm so grateful that I had this challenge, right? And when you think of it that way, your perspective changes. You don't get angry actually.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's no longer anger, it could be remorse, it could be regrets, and it could be pain. But when you are grateful for something that happened that you didn't like it to happen, you begin to realize that this thing that happened to you actually shaped you and helped you become a better person. Like 3 years ago, if I didn't step away from my role in Malaysia, I have to go through some challenges to step away from my role, right? And I'm so grateful for that challenge.
Yeah, I think I told you about this, right?
Yeah.
It's a good lesson, really.
Yeah. And I'm grateful for that challenge because it shapes me and gives me opportunity to do other things. So when I look back, right, it's not remorse, it's not anger, but it's, yeah, of course you have some regrets, always have some regrets, but it's really gratitude. And when you start that with gratitude, right, it's something that is so different. It energizes you, it gives you a different perspective. Biblically, in all things give thanks, right? That's how Jesus teaches, right? So if you think about thanking and being grateful for the challenges and the pain that you go through and the failures that you go through, I promise you, you will change your perspective. It may sound very weird, it may sound very contradictory, and it may sound sometimes very uncomfortable. But if you really take that action to do some of these things, I promise you, you will see a difference.
Every time that these things happen to you, I think how you want to get over it fast is just like John said, right? A lesson learned, be grateful on the lesson, right? And you need to thank that person as well for giving you a very, very good lesson, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, basically, this is a life lesson that you can't learn in college, you can't learn in university. It's a life lesson. It's our life that we need to go through, need to across, then to make us a better version of ourselves. I always look at that.
That's right.
And then we move on, then we'll be happier. Right?
Absolutely right. So this is where I think
don't yourself, right? Always like, okay, whatever happened, then you become suspicious. You think about how do I want to revenge the whole thing. I mean, come on, man. There's so much thing to do. There's so many more productive things to do. Why don't use the mind that you have, the energy that you have? Focus on the things that are going to help you in future.
That's correct. Yeah, so I think that awareness reality is important, right? Yeah, some of you, how many of you have got questions for us to ask today about accountability? It's a very uncomfortable question, uncomfortable. And accountability is not overnight, right? It's not something that you work. I remember I taught this person last week about accountability, and she said, hey, how can I get my team to be accountable with me immediately now? It's not going to happen that way, right? You all have to just spend some time talking about it, agreeing on the process and the accountability steps and measures. For example, what's the frequency of conversation like? What's the frequency of accountability conversation that you want? What are the metrics of accountability that you want to have? Like what sort of things you want to talk about in accountability, right? Do you want to talk about number of calls, number of appointments? What's that conversation? What's that metrics? I think have those clarity of those small steps important, and give time for people to come into that rhythm, right? It's not overnight someone just changed like that, right? So I think it's important to understand that how can we give space and time for some sort of accountability challenge to happen by itself.
I think for you to prepare yourself in the leadership role as well, I think being able to play this role as accountability partners and being hold accountable is very, very important. You cannot be a good leader without knowing this skill, right?
So Sharon asked a very good question. How to handle clients, value them, and make them refer you to other clients? This is a question. Awesome. Thank you so much for asking this question. Great question. So this is what I would challenge you to tell your client this. Mr. Client, I want you to hold me accountable to my promises to you. And the minute I fail to fulfill my promise, please let me know. and I will own up. I promise you, when you go into a relationship with someone, like when I propose, I used to propose these things, right? When I send out a proposal, after my presentation, I tell you what I'm going to do and all that. I'm going to set a time where I will be accountable to you on a one-on-one conversation. So for example, if I sign an exclusive for 6 months for this particular listing, I will tell you I will meet you every 2 weeks. Every meeting that, or every appointment that I have, I will inform you. And you write this down in the contract of appointment. If you put this in your contract of appointment and you do it or you don't do it, and you own up when you don't do it, if you do it, fantastic, you take credit for it. Or when you fail to do it, you own up and say, I'm sorry, I should have done better. Either way, right, you will earn respect of certain manner from your client.
That's a good one, John.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of agents, right, come to us that, okay, how do I get exclusive? I say that you just write it down what you're willing to do where no other agent willing to do.
Right.
That's your promise to them. Yeah. Then they have the rights. I think then you have the rights to ask for exclusive. But if you do the same as everyone willing to do, I say there's no rights for you to ask for a big exclusive agent, because everyone can do the same thing, right? Everyone else can do the same thing.
Right. Someone asked, Renee and Renji asked a good question. How do you respond when your accountability partner outperforms you? Do you see it as competition or as an opportunity to grow? So it's your choice.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision.
Right.
I will encourage you to decide and ask this question. What is he or she doing so well that I'm not able to, I'm not doing so well that I want to learn from this person?
Yes. Opportunity to learn. Remember,
Yes.
just I mentioned about
Yes.
myself, I play games as well.
Yes.
So these days I don't play so much, right? Every time when I go back to Malaysia, I choose to play with the better group, better players.
Right. And let me tell you this, humility is when you realize that there are so many people out there much better than you and I.
Yes.
And it's one of the most important realizations we have to have when you understand that there are a lot of people out there better than you and I.
If you just keep thinking you are the best in the world, that's also a problem.
Yes.
And
it is my desire to go and find those people better than me and learn from them. I would pay a lot of money to go learn from someone. See, my son asked me another question on the same conversation that day. He asked me this question. He said, if you had a choice, Dad, to really go and talk to someone or learn from someone that is famous and very successful, even he's dead or alive, who would that be?
Yeah, I'm interested to know.
He asked me that question. I have a few people in my mind. I said, I want to talk to this person, this person, this person. I told him that, right? And he asked me why. And I said, because I want to study what this part of his life, what did he do right? And how did he go through the struggles to be able to achieve that? So I think the best way to move fast and to progress fast is when you go learn from someone smarter than you. You know what? If you are a business owner today, if you are a business owner listening to this call today, the smartest thing you can do is hire someone smarter than you.
Yes.
To do the job that you don't like to do. And if your business is so great and so big, and you can find someone smarter than you that could do your job better than you, you should do it.
Hire them and have conversation with them.
Yeah.
It's not hire them and not having conversation with them.
So I used to run a team as a CEO of the company, and Charles knows it, but Charles is my team. And I always tell them, the way I hire people, the way I build this team is to one day someone from this team can replace me. With that mindset, it's a total different perspective. You run a very different team. You give so much opportunity to people, you train people, you allow people to step up. You allow people to be better, right? So this is very important, right? How do you protect your purpose when the person you trusted your accountability only uses you for their gain? So so to me, it's very simple. The minute my trust is violated, bye-bye. Yeah. That's it. Everyone in this world can only cheat you once. That's it. Nothing else. If he can cheat you twice, whose fault is that? So remember this, everyone in this world can cheat you once. The agent that want to undercut you can only cheat you once. The client that wants to stop pay you can only cheat you once. Now, if you understand that, if everyone can only cheat me once, then my risk is very low. Because I can also find people that want to be genuine with me and not want to cheat me. Out of 50 people I talk to, maybe 10 wants to cheat me, 40 don't cheat me. Do I take away the opportunity of 40 because of this 10? That's your choice. But I think the smart thing is to understand this. If you only focus on protecting yourself or not getting cheated, because there are a lot of people who wakes up in this morning trying to scam and cheat you, right? Avoiding them is very difficult because why? You will bump into them, you will see them, you will meet them, and you might fall into that trap, and great, then just move on in life because they can only cheat you once.
I remember last week I have this conversation with my team, right? It's the same thing, right? You cannot say that, okay, in your life, you're being cheated once, and then you start to not to trust anyone in your life.
Yeah,
it's wrong. I say that that's not the way that you live, right? Then you cannot trust anyone. You cannot.
Right.
There's only one personal experience with this individual,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So in life, it's not just you don't get cheated only once. You get cheated a few times, right?
Right.
But you cannot have, then you cannot change your worldview of the whole thing, that you become suspicious on everyone that you come across.
That's right. That's right. And you can't protect yourself from that because that's not protectable. But you can protect yourself when you say, I'm not going to do business with this person anymore. Let's find the next person, next partner. Because life is already challenging enough. It's very challenging to restrict so many things. Then you're limiting your life. You're limiting the opportunities. You're limiting your wins. So don't do that. Okay, as we're coming to the end of the hour, I know you have a good chat with Charles. Hannah, is there any announcement for me to make announcements? If there is, please put on the screen, please. Is there any announcement for me to put in? Right. Okay, so for those who are interested in learning more about us and wanting to schedule a business conversation and talk about how to be accountable, Charles and the team are available in KW Manila. Scan the QR code and you'll be able to connect, and let's see how we can help you in your business. Next slide, please. I believe you have a bunch of training coming on. Our trainer 𝘼𝙧𝙘𝙘𝙤𝙪 will be training this week in Ignite. So look at we have a very comprehensive training calendar to support our agents and to support the industry in the whole of Philippines. So we want to help bring agents around or brokers around, salespersons around the Metro Manila area to really learn about how to run your business in a very effective way. So Ignite is a very good lesson. So we are doing this consistently almost every week. Typhoon, no typhoon, the lesson goes on, yes. Right? Either we do it online or physical. We have pivoted before. So we want to leave an example that you can see that we are making things happen despite of whatever situation that we are in. So do join us for this session. Click on the link that's on the chat box so that you can register. Any other announcements, Hannah? Right, this is our training schedule. On Monday, we're going to have Power Mondays, which happened today. Tuesday, we have Connect with Your Market. And on Thursdays, during our huddle, we have a lot of stuff going on. So please sign up and join us. I hope today has been a very good session for you all. Last thoughts, Charles, before we end today.
Last thoughts. I think we need to change our perspective on things and to have a different outcome. You cannot, you can, and the best thing is you cannot take away your past experience because that's not going to shape your future, right? That's just a part of the lessons that are in our life, the up and downs, right? Yeah. So maybe that's my thoughts on the whole.
Awesome. My last thoughts to everyone is you never succeed alone. Yeah. No one succeeds alone. No one progress alone. If that is true, progress happen without anyone. It just happened by itself. It doesn't. It requires sparring partners. Muscles are built because we spar with each other. We create tension among each other. It all requires us to be part of a community and part of a group of people, like-mindedness, to help us achieve better. So no one succeeds alone. So
Yeah.
if you want to think about your business and you want to progress in your life and business, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone, right? Because doing alone is more expensive than doing by yourself. Trust me.
Yeah,
right.
Come to our Thursday huddle, right? That's
Yes.
the time that you mix with us.
Right.
Exchange ideas, exchange listings as well.
Right. Awesome. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Charles. I'll see you all tomorrow in Philippines. I'll be in Manila tomorrow for the event. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the week. I hope this has kickstart your Monday so that your whole week will be a progressive week. Take care. I'll see you next time. See you all. Thank you. Bye.